It's time for Dodger baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. But thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the big 5-3 win in extra innings. The Dodgers, they had been 0-5 in extra innings games this season. Last year, they were 6-13, but they find a way to get the dub on the road. They got that much-needed insurance run there late. Chris Taylor, he came up big. How about Gavin Lux down to their last out? He gets a single off Kenley Jansen. Chris Taylor, he comes through. And then how about Trayce Thompson? Trayce Thompson, the hero there to tie things up in the top of the ninth inning. But we got lots to get into. And how about this? Have you ever been this happy for a blown save for Kenley Jansen? When have I told you that Kenley Jansen blew a save and it led to a Dodgers win? And that's what happened tonight. I think Kenley Jansen was rocking his Dodgers uniform under his Braves uniform. And hey, what I always tell you guys, Kenley is good until he isn't. And we saw that there in the ninth inning. The Dodgers, what up, Kit Clayton? What up, D-Mac? I just smashed that like button. What a great win. Yeah, guys, if you haven't yet, is your first time watching the Dodgers Nation post-game show, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, smash that like button. This is your show. I'm just hosting. I'm the man of the fan, here to get your takes on all things Dodger baseball. And what a game it was. The Dodgers offense, they had been stagnant all night. They were dominated early by Strider. They just couldn't figure out his four-seam fastball. Lots of big swings, lots of not quality ABs by this Dodger team, but they find a way to come through late. They battled there, and to me, my player of the game is Gavin Lux. I'm going with Gavin Lux for my player of the game. And you look at his numbers, goes 2 for 5, but that big clutch base hit, Gavin Clutch is what I'm calling him. So you got to love it. But let me know who your player of the game is and all your thoughts and takeaways from tonight. What are your thoughts on Craig Kimbrell, Kenley Jansen? It's a weird feeling to be like, yay, Kenley blew a save because the Dodgers won, because so many times when I said those words in the past, you'd be really pissed off right now. But lots to get into. Craig Kimbrell, of course, you saw he came in there to try to shut things down. And he ends up getting the win tonight. I mean, I'm not a big wins guy, but he's able to get the win there. He comes in there in the 10th inning, wasn't able to shut things down for this Dodger team. But, hey, you had to deal with the ghost runner there. But we're going to break down this entire game. But first, also, let me know where you represent Dodgers Nation from tonight. Let me know in the comments section. Give me those area codes, zip codes. Let me know down below. And also, who is your player of the game? And also, what are your – man, I think I can go the rest of my life without seeing that Freddie Freeman crying video. It was cool one time. It was pretty cool the second time. Hey, this guy loves his old team. We get it. But for the 5,000th millionth time, I was a little over it. I don't know about you guys, but let me know down below. We got Let's Go Boys from Justin. By the way, pay TT, play Trey Turner. Yeah, man, Trey Turner had gone 0 for 5 before his at-bat there in the top of the 11th inning, and that was just that was massive. On a 2-0 count, Trey Turner, he singled to center to give the Dodgers that much-needed insurance run. If you take the lead, you have a 51% chance to win in extras, but if you add that much-needed, that ever-important insurance run, that goes from 51% to 84%, and the Dodgers, they get the dub. It was over. D-Mac, beta. Oh, yeah, exactly. Where's the Braves beta, guys? Because the Braves aren't beta. The Dodgers, not even having Mookie Betts, not even playing their best baseball, they take 2 out of 3 from this Braves team that had been 19-4 this month. So the Dodgers, they went to Atlanta. I think they made a statement, and I just think the fact that, hey, the guys battled there late. Gavin Lux, you never say die. Gavin Lux is an absolute, he's Gavin the gamer, man. You see what he's able to do out there. Gavin Clutch with the at-bats. You saw what he did in the NLDS Game 5. Gavin Lux is a gamer. You put some respect on that man's name. No Gavin bust. No Gavin sucks. All that you can throw out of the window. Also made some nice plays defensively. Dodgers cool off Braves from pound for pound. This was probably the best game of the year so far. Ricky Garcia, I think when you look at the storyline of it and how dramatic it was when you consider the narrative of Freddie Freeman and his old team and the ovation and the tears, and I get it. Look, I'm okay with him being emotional. That's totally fine. I mean, you played 12 years at the big league level, 15 years in their system. You were drafted by this team. You were started when you were 17 years old. start a family in Atlanta. I get it, but at some point, hey, it's a privilege and an honor to play with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And my only criticism, if I would say, for Freddie Freeman is when he's talking about the Braves and how much he loves the Braves and how much they helped him get to where he was and this guy in a dream. Also, you should finish your sentence with, hey, it's also a privilege to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is a superior franchise in every aspect historically. And hey, it's a great thing to be on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I think that it's very interesting to read Clayton Kershaw's comments on it. We might get into that in a second. We're going to break down this game. If you haven't yet, let me know who is your player of the game. But the Dodgers, they get the dub. They improved to 45-26 on the season, 45-26, and the 45-26, and the most important thing is they get a win in extra innings. That has been the Achilles heel for the Dodgers. It's been their bugaboo, and I think a lot of that has to do with their approach, the lack of situational hitting, getting guys across. Also, the fact that the way that Dave Roberts manages his bullpen, you manage that bullpen to win a 9-inning game. So lots to unpack in this one, but the Dodgers, they get the dub. They're now 1-5 in extra innings games. And, they get the series win against the Atlanta Braves on the road against the hottest team in Major League Baseball. So I think it was a big statement win, not just today, the fact that Dodgers came back on the road and won the game, but also, hey, look at the standings too. The Dodgers, they pick up a game. They're up 2 games now on the San Diego Padres, so a nice little lead they're building in the division, not chasing the Giants or anything like that. So it was a big win. I mean, I don't have, let me get all your takes though on tonight's game. Just pulling up my comments right now. Who's your player of the game? What are your thoughts on Kimbrel's appearance? Tony Gonson, we have to talk about. Wasn't the best night for my man Yency Almonte. Almonte wasn't as Almonte as we've been accustomed to seeing with the Dodgers, but I still think the fact that he went out there, got the job done, and also I think, Tony Gonson, he battled his way as well, too. He didn't have his best stuff tonight, didn't have his best command, did have some really timely punch-outs. And I thought, here we go. We got CT3 as your player of the game from Juan Millian. CT3, that's from Juan Millian over there. Braves bet a guy crying in a corner watching right now, Doug. Hey, Matthew, we're not going to forget that guy, right? Braves Betta has been in his little crib for a while now, okay? Braves Betta. Hey, look, Braves Worsa in this series, okay? They're not Betta. Pico Rivera in the house from Daniel. Thoughts on Kershaw's comments on Freddie's return? I'll give you those later, Mick. I have some thoughts on Clayton's comments. I posted it on my Twitter account, the Instagram account. I think it's really interesting. But I think just kind of in short, I think Clayton Kershaw is a guy who he had an opportunity to maybe sign somewhere else, maybe sign with the Texas Rangers team where it'd be more convenient for a guy that lives in Dallas in the offseason, and maybe you say, hey, I can take my kids to school and that whole thing and be a dad. But hey, Clayton Kershaw realizes it's a privilege and an honor to wear this Dodger blue. It's the best uniform in all of sports as far as I'm concerned. We talk about the tradition dating all the way back to Brooklyn with guys like Pee Wee Reese and Jackie Robinson, Duke Snyder, all these greats that have came before in this organization. This is a special, special organization. I think what Clayton Kershaw was kind of inferring there was saying, hey, man, this is a Dodgers team that not everyone gets to play for. And it's definitely a major privilege to get a contract like that with this team. And it's, we're not, they're no chopped liver. There's no chopped liver, especially when you consider the fact the stadium is superior, the uniform's superior, the tradition is superior. You got Vince Scully and Sandy Koufax and Tommy Lasorda. We can go on and on for days. And I think that Clayton Kershaw, he's honored that tradition. I think that Freddie Freeman, it would have been nice. Like I said, I'm not criticizing the emotion. I'm totally okay with that because, look, he was balling yesterday. He was balling on Friday, but he's also been balling on the field. And you saw him get a big base hit today, put the Dodgers. Unfortunately, Craig Kimbrel wasn't able to preserve the lead, but if you saw there in the top of the 10th inning, a 1-0 count, Freddie Freeman, he rips a double down the line to score Trey Turner easily from second to give the Dodgers a 3-2 lead. And I think Freddie Freeman, he cares. He cares. He loves his teammates. He loves his coaches, everyone. But like I said, it would have been nice to hear him fit in a couple mentions of how, yes, he's not playing for the Braves anymore, but it's also a privilege and an honor to put on that Dodgers uniform because to me, it's the best uniform in all of baseball. But here we go, back in the comment section. Roberts lucked out. Kimbrel and Gratterall late to give all Dodger fans high blood pressure. That is from Carl. Yeah, I think, look, when it comes to to Craig Kimbrell. First and foremost, I think the ghost runner rule is absolutely a terrible rule. This is not beer league softball. This is not your T-ball lead. And look, it doesn't count as an earned run against Craig Kimbrell. With that said, it's more of the same when you look at Craig Kimbrell's outing, whereas you got the punch-outs. He still got the punch-outs, but he wasn't able to lock it down in the sense that you're getting a clean inning. I mean, if you look at Olsen, he gets ahead in the count to Olsen. Has to get some looking at the strike one, and then second pitch, Olsen singles to right center to tie things at 3, and he just didn't have the bite or the depth on that curveball. When he doesn't have that, he starts to nibble a little bit, and he doesn't have the confidence in that pitch, especially early in his appearances. Notice how he looks when he starts to get warmed up. When he starts to get things going, he's a little more effective later in his appearances, but sometimes those first 1 or 2 batters, he can look a little off. But he finished things up. He struck out Riley with a curveball away for the first out, walked forward, missing glove side with that fastball. He was really missing badly during that at-bat, and then that gives the Braves runners on first and second with 1 out, and he strikes out Arcia looking nice location on that four-seam fastball, bottom of the zone, and that is key to Kimbrell's success. If you want to be Craig Kimbrell, when he becomes Cardiac Kimbrell or Craig Crumble, when he becomes that, it's when he's not hitting the strikes at the bottom of the zone. He's not getting that breaking ball in there. He's not landing that four-seam fastball, and you saw on that at-bat, he was able to land that four-seam bottom of the zone, and then with runners on first and second, a 3-2 pitch, Contreras, he gives one a ride. I want to know from you guys, did you guys think that Contreras had hit it out? I'm not going to lie, my heart stopped a little bit, but D-Mac, you the man, player of God, 626. We got Jerry Lux, was absolutely clutch day from Jerry. Kenley is the hero of the game. Yeah, game ball goes to Kenley Jansen. Look, Kenley Jansen, before that hit by Gavin Lux, he hadn't allowed a run, he hadn't given up a walk, he had just struck out 6 batters, 6 Dodgers batters in 2 2/3 this season. So he had absolutely owned the Dodgers before that Gavin Lux base hit. And what have I told you on this show for years? He's good until he isn't. Thanks for the shout out. What up, Daniel? Thompson doing his thing. He tied the game up. That's from Tina G-Man. Hi, YouTube from Doofy. Yeah, hey, Trace Thompson, is it too late to get a Trace Thompson bobblehead night going? That is my question, because Trace Thompson, he is that man up there, just going up there, putting up good swings, and he doesn't look phased. You see the importance of bringing up a veteran. When I say a veteran, I mean he's 31 years old. He's a guy that has been through the big leagues. He's been through the minor league level. His stick-to-itiveness to get back to this stage, he looks like he's unfazed. I like what he said before the game, before he first started with the Dodgers, was, I don't care if I'm playing at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I'm going to go in there and do whatever I can to help this team. And I think what he means by that, of course, is if I start or if you bring me in late as a defensive substitution, as a pinch hit at bat, that he's going to go out there and he's going to try to do his very best. And I think that he's not going up there and he's not putting a lot of pressure on himself to go out there and have success. But it's nice to see what he did tonight, because that was really one of the biggest base hits of the season. I'm telling you, of course, the walk-off win against the Phillies was nice where they came back in the ninth, but this win on the road, when they could have lost 2 out of 3, the whole Freddie Freeman angle, Tony Gonsolin didn't pitch his best, but he did enough to get the job done and give the Dodgers a chance to win. But I think this Dodgers offense, they had been cold for most of the night, struggling with Strider's fastball. But I think it was let me ask you guys that question. Is this the biggest win of the season? Let's do some rapid-fire comments here, and we'll keep breaking down this game. James says, Jensen doing what he does best. Mr. Cat, Dodgers better, Dodgers. We are never going to live that down. And that's what I love about you guys. You guys are like Michael Jordan, The Last Dance. You took that personally. The vindication, we're never going to live that down. We're going to find whatever Braves chat he is, but I don't think they even have a Braves chat. But if they did, we're going to go flood it tonight with Dodgers better, because that is the facts. But, Chris Taylor, Clutch Taylor was fantastic tonight. Maranta was great. Jay Silva, that does not go unnoticed by me. Reyes, Maranta, that is, honestly, man, I think I might just shock the world and get myself a Reyes Maranta jersey. Fringe relievers, my man Brooke likes fringe players. I like fringe relievers as well. And I think, Reyes Maranta, calm, cool, and collected, he comes in there and he gets it done for the Dodgers. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Reyes Maranta. He strikes out Harris with that filthy slider. He struck out Swanson with that filthy changeup, bottom of the zone, was hitting 96. He gets d'Arnaud to ground to short. So he made easy work of that Braves lineup today. And we're talking the bottom of the ninth, and he gets out the top of that lineup. So, well, he starts with, the bottom and the top of that lineup. So he gets Harris down. Harris had a good game, too. It was 2 for 5. So, yeah, I think Reyes Maranta is going to be an unsung hero, but not here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. You get a Let's Go Dodgers because Reyes Maranta, hey, man, we got to get some good Reyes Maranta nicknames. Let me know down below. Bring up Jake Lamb. Matt, look, Jake Lamb, he's got that opt-out. July 1st is coming. You will see Jake Lamb. I think it could be as early as the Colorado series. It's going to happen. My Lamely, Jake Lamb is going to get an opportunity. And you see the way he's able to be effective down there, and he's been raking all season, just waiting for his opportunity. And I think that's going to be coming soon. Don't forget about Jason Martin too, who's doing very well. We got damn D-Mac. We're partying tonight. Yeah, Miles Simon. This almost feels like a postseason win in some weird way, just because I don't know. I think this Braves rivalry. When you look at the history, these teams being at one point in the same division. You saw what they did to the Dodgers in 1991. You saw some of these tough losses throughout the years, and they're almost sister franchises to an extent. And then you add the Freddie Freeman angle. You see these two teams are the two teams that won the pennants in their respective for the National League in 2020. Of course, it was the Dodgers. The Dodgers came back from down 3-1. They gave the Braves the ATL. And then last year, of course, the Dodgers ran out of gas. Max Scherzer's arm passed away. Pour out some OE for Max Scherzer's arm that died in the postseason. The Dodgers weren't able to win. I think if the Dodgers were healthy, I fully believe that the Dodgers would have beaten the Braves last season. But here we go. Rain forecasted on the Dodger plane. Ask Freddie to turn off the rain. That's from Boomer Assassin. Yeah, look, Freddie Freeman, man, he was waterworks, man. And I'm just glad he didn't go on the IL, the 15-day IL with a broken heart or something like that, okay? Because Freddie Freeman was definitely in his feelings, and look, you can't blame the guy. I mean, it's okay to show some emotion, but like I said, let's also, every tear you shed and every thing you say nice about the Braves, I think you talk about the opportunity that Andrew Friedman and this Dodgers organization gave you to play with the premier franchise in all of Major League Baseball. When you step out onto that field at Chavez Ravine and you hear those Freddie chants. I don't remember the Braves doing that every time that he went up to bat. I don't remember that. Do you? Because I don't. I know there were some Freddie chants, but not every single time like the Dodgers fans have been doing. So, hey, Freddie, show the Dodgers fans some love. Show this Dodgers organization some love as well. But here we go. Glad Trey Turner got a hit today. That's from Rafael. The hitman got a hit. And look, he was 0 for 5 before that base hit. K Casino statement game, $10, my man. That's going towards carne asada fries and some Modelo's, my man. Maranta was clutch. Yeah, like I said, Trey Turner, he comes up big and top of the 11th inning, top of the 11th, the 2-0 count. Trey singled to center to give the Dodgers that much-needed insurance run, puts LA up 5-3, and then even before that inning, Chris Taylor just stayed high. Chris Taylor, he doubled to third, goes off the glove right there. And by the way, shout out to those gloves for not being a half-inch longer. We saw the Olsen one, Riley, Arcia. So, yeah, the Dodgers, they benefited from that. So, yeah, Chris Taylor, he really was the man who had been slumping before this game, and he comes through in a big way. You know he's clutch Taylor. You know that last October it became Oct Taylor, what he was able to do in the postseason. Just, he's a guy that goes up there. Yes, he has that violent swing, but when he's on, when his timing's right, he is a very tough out and a very dangerous guy at the plate. He came in late for Eddie Alvarez. So he came in as a substitution for Eddie Alvarez. He ends up getting 3 at-bats in this game, and he goes 3 for 3, does Chris Taylor. Gets that double. He ends up with 1 RBI, and I think those are the players of the game. I mean, I think Gavin Lux is my player of the game. You could easily give it to Chris Taylor, of course, for the clutch RBI and what he was able to accomplish tonight on the diamond. But to me, Gavin Lux, the fact the Dodgers are down to their final out, and Kenley Jansen was dominating the Dodgers right there. Top of the 9th inning. Let's break it down in a second, but here I want to get some more comments in before I do that. And then Trace Thompson had the big hit. Kenley Jansen again ruined the game. Kenley Jansen. Don Kim, D-Mac, you think Freeman would have been more emotional or more focused or more reliable if this was a playoff game? Okay, this is my take on Freddie Freeman in the whole Braves situation. I think that, look, this is a guy that feels. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's got a big emotional connection. He already said early in the season that he doesn't want closure with this Braves organization for whatever reason. Maybe he ends up on the Atlanta Braves, just like Albert Pujols is finishing his career with the St. Louis Cardinals. Maybe that's still in play, but to me, I look at this as, look, it's like when you break up with a girl or whatever, you break up with a girl, and you have that one last hookup before you actually break up. It's like one for the road. I think this is kind of one of those one for the road series, and hopefully he can put it behind him, and the next time it just laser focus is about being a Los Angeles Dodger. It's about winning championships for LA, because let's not forget, you're in the first year of a $162 million contract, okay? So the Dodgers want as much value out of Freddie Freeman as they possibly can, and I hope he has tons of success, but I think that we can absolutely rule out the idea that he would go into the Hall of Fame if he's able to get to that level as a Dodger after what we saw. But Muncy clutch at third for sure. Rebecca, yeah, that was a fantastic play there by Max Muncy. I mean, to get that to be able to basically keep the Dodgers in it in the bottom of the sixth inning. So bottom of the sixth inning, you had a leadoff double by d'Arnaud, left the fastball a little up out over the plate, and then d'Arnaud on second, you saw he freezes Gonson freezes Olsen with a fastball that was a little off the black, but Gonson gets the call for strike three. And then on a 2-0 pitch in the dirt, Smith blocks it, and then a 3-2 count to Riley. He gets him to ground to Lux on a slider, and they get the out at first. d'Arnaud advances to second, and they totally jinxed Gonson in this at-bat. The graphic on the screen said that opponents were hitless in their last 34 at-bats with runners on base against the great Catsby. And then Ozuna singles to center for the first run of the night. It was a slider away. He hits it off the end of the bat. It was 75 miles per hour off the bat, and that gives the Braves a 1-0 lead. So, look, it was a nice piece of hitting. A little bit off the plate, a little outside there, but left it up. That was the issue. It was outside, but he left it a little up where Ozuna could get his bat on it and get the base hit. And then Yancey, he comes into the game, and he hits Arcia with a two-seamer, giving the Braves runners on first and second with 2 outs. And then Yancey, he walks Contreras to load the bases. And then there's the play you're referring to, Rebecca, where Duvall, he hits that sharp line drive. Muncy makes a nice play on it, fields it, makes that throw to first, and Freeman, scoop, there it is. He did a nice job with the stretch to get out of the inning. So, yeah, the wheels could have fallen off that inning for the Dodgers, but you saw Yancey didn't have his best command, but he's able to get out of it. And Max Muncy made a nice play, made a nice throw, and then Freeman, he made that nice scoop there. So the Dodgers, they kept it to a minimum there. But we beat the World Series champs. We the uncrowned champs from RR. Freeman is happy for LA, but sad for Atlanta. HJ, Roy Estrada, Buehler needs to go to the pen when he comes back. That's a hot take. You're going to get the Flames for that. That's a hot take. We'll see how he plays. I mean, we'll see how his arm looks. We'll see how that four-seam fastball looks. If that velo if he's regained that velo to an extent and just the command in general. But, hey, to me, I'm always pessimistic when it comes to pitchers missing time during the season, because you talk about forearm strains, you talk about a guy in Walker Buehler that was one of just 4 pitchers to throw over 200 innings last year. He led all big league starters with game starts. He actually led all big leaguers with innings last year in total. So over 220 innings last year for the Butane. So I think, to me, it's pretty interesting. But Blue Magic, cry me a river, Freddie. Roy Estrada, I thought no crying in baseball. We got, I like this, Hudson, Buehler, May, Heaney with the candles. It kind of hurt, but hopefully we get Heaney back at some point doing that shoulder inflammation, and Dustin May's on the mend, and he's actually looking pretty nice down there facing hitters in Arizona, hitting 101 on the gun. But here we go. Bellinger and Turner are struggling bad. Yeah, I think Cody Bellinger saw he had some nice at-bats yesterday, hitting the ball the other way. You saw he almost hit that home run that went into foul territory, but he did strike out. He was underneath some of those Strider fastballs, and that's to me, the story early on in this game was the Dodgers missing pitches that they were just kind of overwhelmed and looked outmatched by Strider's, almost said Strider, hear you. Anyone play Marvel? But by Strider's fastball, and they just couldn't hit their stride against Strider, and you saw they were just missing pitches. Muncy, Belly, JT, Trey, he struck out on a 100-mile-per-hour fastball in the zone the first inning. Trey also struck out on a 100-mile-per-hour heater looking low and away in the second. Freddie Freeman struck out on that changeup swinging. Belly, 98 miles per hour, swinging right in the zone underneath it. And that's a pitch belt high that you want to see him try to get to. And then Alvarez, he swinging 97 Thompson fastball inside in the fifth. So yeah, they just couldn't figure him out. They just couldn't get to him. But Taylor from Christian, Eddie ain't cutting, and he's got to go. It's from Anthony 559. The real JK show up today. I like that one. I like that. The real JK. We got Trey doesn't want to be in LA, and shortstop from Atlanta wants to be our shortstop from Atlanta wants our team swap. Freddie Freeman, emo OnlyFans. Trace was the MVP. We got Freeman not bleeding Dodger blue yet. John Gurup. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, man. You got to bleed Dodger blue. Anyone who's been a fan of this team, anyone who's been through this organization know how special it is. But Taylor should never be sitting against the Braves. That's just ridiculous. That's from Moose 1032. Yeah, when you talk about Chris Taylor, he had been struggling heading into this game, a little bit of a slump, but he's a guy that, especially when you consider how consistently bad Muncy, Belly, and Justin Turner have been at the plate this season. Chris Taylor's a guy that's tough to keep out of the lineup, and I totally agree with you, Moose 1032, and we saw him pay dividends to have him in the game late when he goes 3 for 3 and gets those big hits and puts the Dodgers on top there. So, yeah, I agree with you. And just look at the top of the 7th inning when he comes in. He gets that 2-out single, and in comes Jesse Chavez to face Trey Thompson. And he draws that 2-out walk to give the Dodgers runners on first and second with 2 outs and Trey at the plate. And Trey, he chases strike 3. So even earlier in the game, before he had those clutch at bats, he was in there and he was giving the Dodgers opportunities to score. And look, I mean, we can be happy about this win, and for good reason, because there's a lot to be happy about. But yeah, I mean, there were a lot of big swings early in this one. The Dodgers end up going 4 for 18 with runners in scoring position. Yesterday, they go 2 for 11. In game 1 of the series, they go 1 for 9. And then you look at the strikeouts, too. 16 strikeouts yesterday, some terrible calls by Buckner. But tonight, the Dodgers, they prevailed. They got the win, ended up going down 13 times. So that's kind of my big question moving forward with this team, is how they hit against elite pitching, against high velocity. And today, I think that early on, they look outmatched. Guys like Bellinger, guys like Justin Turner and Max Muncy, they even Trey Turner with multiple strikeouts. He had 3 strikeouts during tonight's game. So I think when you talk about this Dodgers team, you want to see how they fare against the upper echelon of teams around the league. And look, this series could have easily gone the other way, but hey, give them a lot of credit. They went out there, and Gavin Lux and Chris Taylor, it's the 2 clutch players of this team. They go out there and they really ignite this offense, and they spark this win for LA. But yeah, I'm just thrilled for Gavin Lux having this success. Call it Miguel Vargas. You want to see Miguel Vargas? Man, I've talked to some scouts, I've talked to some people, and they tell me that he's not quite ready. They don't want to see him quite just yet. So make of that what you will, but this guy I've talked to is really locked in with the prospects. But his hit tool, his potential is definitely there. Kimbrel in a package for more bullpen help and another hitter. That's from Jared S. Lyer. That's most likely not going to happen, because you talk about Craig Kimbrel in the final year where he's getting $16 million this season. Of course, you don't have to pay that full amount based on how many games he's already played. No one's going to take on that contract with the way he's performed. They might, and I think the Dodgers just have to work their magic, continue to get better. Look, remember, he has 1 blown save on the season, and if you talk about the BABIP, the batting average of balls in play, it's the 2nd highest in the league. If you look at his FIP versus ERA, big disparity there. If you want to focus on the positives are that he's still striking out guys. And you just want to see him put it together at the beginning of appearances, get ahead in the count, and land that breaking ball for strikes, throw that fastball. So I think for Kimbrel, it's just about getting him into a groove and trying to find a way to optimize what he has. But Will Smith kind of has a Mike Scioscia vibe from David P. Yeah, Will Smith is an absolute baller. There's no question about it. He was slapping balls all over the field today. How about that play where he threw the ball right at Darno's bat? Man, I thought that was pretty interesting. You aren't going to see that very often. But Will Smith, Smitty goes 2 for 6 tonight, and he has that double off Strider. So he was one of the few guys to get a hit off of Strider. Nice piece of hitting, got his hands in there, just turns on it. But Craig Kimbrel, Freeman had a few nice scoops today. Yeah, Josh, we definitely pointed that out earlier. And look, he's a Gold Glove winning first baseman, right? He's a guy that can impact the game. Even though he's not the fastest guy, he's a smart base runner. You saw him directing traffic out there. Max Muncy on the play we'll get into earlier in the game, where He runs on contact, and on the Muncy line drive to second, he hits a sharp little ground ball to second, and the Dodgers weren't able to score there, but thanks to him directing traffic, Muncy's able to end up on second. But, we talk about the top of the sixth inning. Freddie Freeman, he cranks that one-out single, and that extends his hitting streak to 9 games, so a 9-game hitting streak for Freddie Freeman. And then on the 1-2 pitch, Will Smith doubles off the wall and left to give the Dodgers runners on first and on third with 1 out. A great piece of hitting by Smitty. Like I said, just got his hands in on that 97-mile-per-hour fastball in the inner half, 107.9 miles per hour off the bat, the clutch prince. Muncy, like I said, he has this uncanny ability just to lay off of borderline pitches, but he ends up on that 3-2 count. He grounds to Arcia at second, and Arcia, he throws a strike to d'Arnaud at home. They get Freeman in the rundown, and then Freeman, he's directing traffic. He's able to stay in the rundown long enough for Muncy to get to second, but then with runners on second and third, 2 outs, a 1-2 count, JT, he goes down swinging on a filthy slider at the bottom of the zone. So that was really the biggest opportunity of the night for the Dodgers, and they weren't able to execute. So yes, we'll talk about the positives, but I got to keep it real, bring my facts to the fight, and let you know that still not executing as good as they need to be with runners in scoring position. I like when our guys show fight and guts. That's from Stan, the Rams fan. Gary A. Piensa Judge will hit a 700-foot home run off of Kimbrel in the World Series. He liked my Piensa Azul shirt. It's actually my favorite Dodgers Nation shirt. Can't believe we won a game with Alvarez starting, LOL. Richard, yeah, we were just here a couple weeks ago. You guys were telling me that he went from the American hero to the American zero, and he needs to wear his ice skates out there. But the Cryberry ice cream served with a Braves helmet. Dustin May, Reyes Montaña Maranta. I like it. Jansen let the Dodgers steal second. Yeah, that's another great point there when we talk about the top of the 9th inning. So Justin Turner, he strikes out swinging on a slider away. Bellinger, he struck out swinging for the second out. And then on a 3-2 pitch, Gavin Lux, he laces a single to right on a sinker to give the Dodgers some life. They still had a pulse. And then the next batter, Chris Taylor, he jumps on the first pitch. He singles to right. Lux makes it to third on the play, and that sets the Dodgers up with runners on the corners with 2 outs and Trace Thompson at the plate. And then Chris Taylor, he's able to steal second during that at-bat, and they know the scouting report with Kenley Jansen. If you throw guys at second, he doesn't like it. He feels uncomfortable out there, and Kenley Jansen doesn't want to have a runner at second. So that gave the Dodgers runners on second and third, and what an at-bat by Trace Thompson. I mean, he quickly falls behind the count, 0-2. He fouls off a 97-mile-per-hour cutter, and then he takes a slider away for ball 1. And then on the 1-2 count, he singles to shallow right. Lux and Taylor both score on the play to tie things up at 2. And then I thought it was so close. I thought Olsen was going to make that stop. It was so close. He kind of leaps, goes off his glove, off the tip of his glove, and ends up in right field. And the Dodgers tie things up. And that's why I was worried, because I thought we had an opportunity right there, the Dodgers, to really take a commanding, to really pour it on Kenley. Trey Turner, he was down. He fouls off a few cutters, and he lined to center for the third out. So the Dodgers, they tied it up, but missed an opportunity to add more runs. But here you go. You're pointing out all the little plays Dodgers made on the DN offense to win it. Just happy we beat. I don't know what happened. CT3 is a clutch hitter. D-Mac, Tommy Lasorda would have been pissed with all the Freeman crying. That's from Nando, 390. Great win, go blue, Richard Reuter. Trade Justin Brule. Jansen's Jansen's next tweet. We finally Kimbrel is the winning pitcher today. We got I like that. The hit me up you up. Here we go. We got we need to trade. Okay, here we go. Tony, as crazy as it sounds, Trey, unlike Freddie, didn't cry when we visited D.C. That's from B.C. Kimbrel is the winning pitcher today. Can the Dodgers afford to pay Trey a Bauer 2-year ban is upheld? That's from Wendy Y. That's irrelevant. It truly is. I mean, we talk about Trevor Bauer, and they owe him $64 million. It's $64 million. That's chump change when you talk about a contract that Trey Turner would warrant. So Trey Turner is going to get nothing short of $250 million. I'll tell you that right now. And most likely nothing short of $32.5 million per year in AAV. But when is Bauer appeal being decided? Iris K. From based on people I've talked to, you're not going to see Bauer on the mound for the Dodgers this year. I mean, take it as an opinion, but based on just the length of that appeal process, doesn't seem like that they're expediting in any way. Also, you wonder what kind of shape is Bauer even in? If he's even throwing? I mean, I wouldn't bank on that. And based on everything I've heard, that's just not going to happen. Win of the year, Luxy. Would you sign Belly to a $100 million contract or give every dollar to trade? Dodgers 3118. I think when it comes to Cody Bellinger, I mean, if he can prove that he's a 260, a 260 average hitter, even a 30 home run guy that can play solid defense, I think you consider keeping him at a team friendly contract. But I think that he has a lot to prove still. So to me, I think when it comes to Trey Turner, there's a lot of things to discuss. And I think one thing no one is discussing when it comes to Trey is the fact that, does he want to be a leadoff man? Is he comfortable batting third? Because we know that is Mookie's spot. Mookie is not moving off the leadoff spot. I'll tell you that right now. Mookie Betts is going to be the leadoff hitter for at least the next 3 to 5 years, and then we'll see what happens past that. But we know that Mookie's on that long-term 12-year deal. This is his franchise, so we'll see. But I do think that, look, I dropped a video on the Trey Turner extension talks today. Look, they went to him before the season. They said, hey, we're not going to offer you a contract. And I think that he probably appreciated that transparency, but he also discussed earlier that he could compartmentalize and discuss a contract extension during the season. So if you're Trey Turner, why are they telling you that? Why are they communicating that to you? Maybe they say, hey, if we give you this big contract, will you get comfortable? If we tell you we're going to offer you an extension later, will you be comfortable? Maybe, but probably not. He's a gamer. He likes to go out there and compete no matter what, and I just think he's going to hit free agency. And when players hit free agency, you can't bet. When a player hits free agency, more often than not, if you have the option of will he remain with the team that he was on or will he sign elsewhere, always bet elsewhere, okay? Because these agents, they want to create these bidding wars, and Trey Turner is a guy that, look, I always said if they didn't sign him while he was a Dodger like they did with Mookie Betts, I think it's unlikely that he remains in L.A. past this season. But Danny Duffy will be solid for us when he gets back. That's from Bob Perez. Yeah, I've been hearing really good stuff about Danny Duffy. You're seeing some of the videos he's posted. He's touching 93, and before he went down with the injury in 2021 with the Royals, Danny Duffy, he was pitching well. He was definitely pitching well, and he's a guy that, he grew up a Dodger fan, big Kobe fan, and I'm hoping that he can go out there and be a nice long man, multi-inning reliever for the Dodgers. Denver Young, thumbs up. Jose Trevino, better than Will Smith. Freeman does not drop tips. That's from Drake. Belly needs to step it up. Keep Trey Turner at leadoff. Shia, I mean, the thing is, the Dodgers averaged 6 runs per game in May. Mookie Betts was the leader to win, the front runner to win the NL MVP. So you want to move him off leadoff? Because the reality is, the Dodgers had more success with Mookie Betts at leadoff than they're having with Trey Turner at leadoff. So this whole idea that you keep Trey Turner at leadoff, where does this come from? I mean, just look at the facts, look at the numbers, okay? Mookie Betts, when he went down, he was the front runner to win the NL MVP. The Dodgers, they averaged 6 runs per game in the month of May. They were the hottest team in the league. So they played their best baseball offensively with Mookie at leadoff. And look, the hitman, wherever you put him in that lineup, he's going to have success. But there are some interesting advantages with what he can do on the base pass when you see how he can change the shift, how he can wreak havoc with on the base pass. So look, I mean, there are some advantages, but I'm telling you, Mookie Betts, he is the Pied Piper in this organization. He is the face of this franchise. Mookie gets what he wants. Mookie wants to bat leadoff. So until that changes, you're going to see him batting leadoff the second he gets back. But Dodgers, Matt Carpenter and Anthony Rizzo. Doug, is that Smith double gone at Dodger Stadium? That's a good question. I was thinking that, and I just didn't get the numbers on that, but it's tough to say. It's tough to say, especially with the weather heating up. But Luxley Charms does it again. That's from John Girup. Dodgers should trade for Luis Castillo. That's from Dio. Who you guys rather have, Castillo or Montas? I can get into both of them. Gonna drop a video on them tomorrow, but let me know. How good is the Dodgers farm system right now? Anthony 559. Dodgers farm system is definitely has plenty of talent. Has definitely plenty of talent. So I think it just depends on what you mean specifically. Just as a whole, if you're talking about the depth, if you're talking about the quality, and wow, the Anthony Rendon thing was kind of crazy. Did you guys see that today? What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, I mean, Dodgers, Talk about the prospects, talk about the Bobby Millers, the Michael Bushes, Andy Pajes, Miguel Vargas, lots of big names down there. And don't forget Diego Cartaya, who still isn't close to being ready, but when you talk about his upside, he profiles to be he projects to be a top-end catcher. So, yeah, the Dodgers, anywhere from 5 to 10 at the moment, wherever you want to put it. But here we go. But like I said, they had to part ways with Kabert and Josiah Gray to get to, oh my goodness, man. Cannot wait for John Boy to break that down, by the way. Kenley being Kenley, definitely agree. Cody needs to take over as a leader. Let's go. Those commentators were ridiculous. They didn't even start watching the game until the 9th inning. That's from Deborah Young. They were pretty bad. Let Gonsolin pitch longer. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, Yensi's been really solid all year. Tony Gonsolin didn't have his best stuff tonight, but what he did do is still put up a lot of zeros, still pitched around a lot of traffic. And I think it was a gritty, gutsy outing for him like we've seen recently. And I think that's a big step in his development, is pitching well and going out there and getting the job done and giving your team a chance to win even when you don't have your best command. And tonight I think the big money pitch for him was that slider. That slider for Tony Gonsolin. He was getting the ground ball outs. He was getting the big punch outs. And I think it wasn't even a big game for him when it comes to a big strikeout game, but they were really timely punch outs. He ends up getting 5 strikeouts. He allowed 1 run on 5 hits in 5 2/3 innings of work. Was that 94 pitches? At that point? So yeah, I mean 9 swings and misses. So he didn't have the best feel for that splitter, but I thought, like I said, he went out there and he made big pitches in big spots. I think some of the more important at bats. This is a game too that could have got away from Tony Gonsolin. Absolutely. I think you saw him. He had that 1-2-3 inning in the first, a 1-2-3 inning in the second, but bottom of the third got into Duvall had that double off of him. He left that 4-seam fastball a little up. Duvall hit it, but then he gets Harris to strike out. He strikes out Harris with that splitter in the bottom of the zone. And then if you jump to the bottom of the 5th inning, another big key punch out for him. Bottom of the 5th, he falls behind Contreras 3-1, walks him, so you get the leadoff walk, and then he gets Duvall to ground into that double play, and he did a nice job right there of letting Gavin Lux make that play. He kind of gets out of the way. Lux was able to make that play, and how did he get that? On the slider. So the slider was inducing that soft contact and was leading to some big outs for him, and then Harris singles up the middle, splitter that kind of stays up, little seeing eye ground ball right there. And then with runners on first and second with 2 outs, he strikes out Swanson on 3 pitches, just froze him with a nasty splitter, and he got the outside corner for strike 3. So a big-time money pitch right there. Also, he got bottom of the 3rd inning. He got a key strikeout, bottom of the 3rd, with after Contreras grounded to first, after Duvall doubled to center. He gets Harris striking out with the runner in scoring position with that splitter, and then he gets Swanson to line out on that slider. So that slider was a very effective pitch for him today. I thought he went out there. I thought he battled. He wanted to stay out there, and that's what I love to see from Tony Gonsolin. The fact that he has that bravado, has that clout to just say, hey, I want to stay out here and get that final out. And you guys are ready to jump on Doc if Yensi wasn't able to get out of that inning. You saw the big play for Max Muncy. But Bauer is ready. Just MLB management isn't ready to give up this suspension. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm just telling you, man. It's not even worth following at this point, I think. But Mookie Flex Trace has been just in the sense that this year, because I just think from a timetable standpoint is what makes it unrealistic, the way that it doesn't seem like this process is moving along. But $100 million for Belly, not sure about that. Bigford was legit. That's from Rebecca over on YouTube. Why didn't we sign Jock Peterson to a 1-year deal? WTF? Yeah, what does he have, 17 or 18 bombs? Jock Peterson. Gary A. is Kenta Maeda is still in the bigs. Yeah, I mean, it's sad, man, what you're seeing what you're seeing from some of these players. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but he's with Hyunjin Ryu, he's out for the whole year. So yeah, and then Kenta Maeda, you saw um, his situation. I mean, it's just kind of wild. I mean, this Dodgers, some of these former Dodgers, some of them will have success, some of them won't. But yeah, I mean, Kenta Maeda, he's been dealing with some stuff too, dealing with an elbow injury. I believe he's on the 60-day IL, and yeah, I mean, Tommy John surgery. I mean, had TJ in. I want to say in September, right? I believe. But yeah. Yes, Kike and Maeda re-signed Turner. Dodgers have been trying to trade Jock for a couple years. Unfortunately, he took it personal. Yeah, it was time for him to move on. Castillo over Montas. Okay, so this is who you're taking from Castillo. Montas all day. Trey will have 100 RBI in the third spot. Castillo, we got Kenley better than Kimbrel. I'd rather have Castillo. LA Strong says Castillo over Montas. Chris, Castillo, Mr. Cat, Montas. We got Ray Barrios. The great Ricky Henderson was also a slugger at leadoff like Mookie Betts. Boomer, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, when you look at Ricky Henderson, I think it's pretty interesting comparison to me anytime you hear these Ricky Henderson and Mookie Betts comparisons because, yeah, I mean, I think when you saw Ricky 28 home runs with the Yankees, 28 home runs with the Oakland A's in 1990, 24 home runs with the Yankees. Mookie Betts, I mean, that power surge he was on, I mean, he was on pace for hitting over 40 home runs this season, and his career high in home runs is 32 that he set in his MVP season. So I see the similarities. Ricky was on another level when it comes to a base runner, but John Boy W, I think Castillo, look, kind of the bare bones. They both have top-end stuff that's going to play up in the postseason. When you talk about both guys, both have had very low run support this year. Only thing I have issue with Castillo at the moment is he missed a month due to a shoulder injury. Do you really want to trade for a guy that has a shoulder injury or something lingering? If you look at his stuff, absolutely filthy. A four-seam fastball, he can hit 98, 99. He has a changeup that's filthy. He has a nice pitch mix. Frankie Montas, though, has been the more consistent pitcher over the last year. Since last July, when he doubled his splitter usage, he has been a top 10 pitcher in Major League Baseball in pretty much every category when it comes to strikeout rate, ERA, FIP, Sierra. If you look at across the board, WAR, I mean, Frankie Montas has turned himself into a top 10 pitcher since doubling that splitter usage. Also, electric fastball. I watched his entire outing against the Mariners. That was a terrible ump. He should have had 9 strikeouts and 2 walks instead of 8 and 3 or whatever it was. So Dodgers greater than signed. The Mets are better than the Dodgers. Okay, that's from Gary. Vesia sucks. Vesia. He gave up some hits today. He gave up some hits for sure. They were just kind of if you look at the bottom of the 7th inning, Vesia's into pitch. First pitch to Harris. He singles to shallow right. Falls behind Swanson 3-0. And then on the 3-2 pitch, Swanson singled to center. So he allowed back-to-back singles to start the 7th. And they were just hitting his fastball. It didn't have the best life or the best command. And then with runners on first and second, a bizarre play where Harris stole third and Swanson was safe at second after Will Smith. He threw it right into the bat of Darno. Very bizarre play. But with runners on second and third, Vesia, he gets ahead of Olsen 0-1. And then he misses on 4 straight pitches, walks Olsen to load the bases. Didn't have that command, missing. And then in came Bigford, and on a 1-2 pitch, Riley hit that sac fly to make it 2-0 Braves, and that was the hit the Dodgers needed from Muncy in the 6th, like I said. And then Bigford, he gets Ozuna swinging. So that was definitely very positive to see Bigford, who has been not the same Bigford that we saw last season, go in there, have some success in a big spot because, hey, they really could use him when it comes to turning it around and having the season that we saw last year where he was really a rubber arm for the Dodgers. But, yeah, here we go. So, yeah, jump in the comments, guys, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of your night, man. Sunday night, long games, 9:22. I was going to see Top Gun tonight, but I guess not. Bellinger, you guys see Top Gun? Do you like it? Freddie needs a day off. That's from Joe. Yeah, Freddie needs a day off. And, hey, Freddie, this shoulder is free to cry whenever you need it, my man. Newsom just passed the 2% gas tax. Dodgers should trade for 2 bullpen arms, 1 starter, and 1 right-handed bat. I mean, they could definitely benefit from all those moves. I think the most important thing right now is you have to assess the long-term the long-term health of Walker Buehler. Can they count on him to come back and resemble the pitcher that he's been for the Dodgers for the majority of his career? Is he going to be that guy, or is he going to be the guy that we saw struggle with command and struggle with the effectiveness of his best pitch? That, to me, is my biggest concern when it comes to Walker effing Buehler, is he's lost his best pitch in that four-seam fastball. And until he finds a way to show that he can be effective, I mean, he's got a nice pitch mix, but we talk about his knuckle curve and his slider and his cutter. Yes, he has those pitches, but none of them are pitches like we've seen with Tony Gonsolin, where he has that filthy splitter. Other things that he can really lean on. But I do hope that he can come back. But I think that if you're going to part ways with some of these big premier prospects, you want to get guys that are starting pitchers, and then you could be flexible with the bullpen. You don't forget, you have Danny Duffy. They could get Blake Trinan. They could Dustin May could come in and start some games, and then also come out of the bullpen at times, maybe in a piggybacking role. Maybe come out and get an occasional save. You never know. So I think that when it comes to right-handed bat, I think it really comes down to if Mookie's back and this offense starts to get going, then I think that, look, Trace Thompson, look what he did tonight, right? I mean, Rake Lamb is going to come up and get an opportunity. So I think, to me, if I would have to rate the areas as far as priority, you go starting pitching, because when you add a starter, you can move someone to the bullpen. You can be flexible with that role. And also, when you talk about, yes, there's the Bednars out there and guys like that, and I'm going to drop something on a bullpen, some bullpen pieces too. And there's some other guys that can go out there and they can really help. But I think that you really focus on who's going to be available late in the year, and I think that injuries will ultimately dictate it. But, I mean, hey, David Robertson, he's a guy that's out there. I mean, do you want to poach some of these Cubs pitchers? I think that would be pretty interesting as well. So there's names out there for sure. I think it just depends on, look, this under Andrew Friedman, we saw, thankfully they didn't make the move for Felipe Vasquez back in 2019, but they've also not really been an organization that puts a premium on trading for big name relievers, right? Because a lot of times they're volatile. They vary from year to year. Just look at Phil Bigford. He was a revelation last year. He struggled this year. Look at Morrow in 2017. So they deal with injury. They deal with adversity. So I think the bigger issue, and like I said, if this offense is clicking and everyone's healthy, they're going to be able to score runs. I mean, let's not forget that Gavin Lux has had a breakout year for the Dodgers, and hopefully Muncy, Bellinger, and Justin Turner can get it together. But I would say that, that's something they might have to address as well. But Diane Schroeder, thank you very much. Keep smashing that like button. Does Freeman even really want to be a Dodger? That's from Nando390. Can you touch on Caesar, I talked about it quite a bit on Freeman showing emotion. I think that, look, I mean, the bottom line for me when it comes to Freddie Freeman is he's earned the right to show some emotion. Look, just imagine the fact that you got drafted by, look, I'll be honest with you, if I was drafted by the Dodgers at age 17 and I went up through that organization as a prospect and I found a way to make it to the big leagues with the Dodgers, I became a 5-time All-Star, I win an MVP, I win a World Series, I meet my wife, I have some kids, I start my family with the Dodgers, and then I wanted to come back to the Dodgers, but we don't get a deal done, and I sign with another team. Upon returning, best believe it's going to be some waterworks against the Dodgers, but on the same token, I do think if there has been any missteps with Freddie Freeman in his return to the Braves, I think that it wouldn't hurt him to show a little more love to the Dodgers, to this Dodgers organization, for signing him, for welcoming him with open arms, and giving him the opportunity to put on this uniform. And I think that that's the only thing, to me, if I had to nitpick, and really I don't even care. I just, like I said, if he's balling, as in crying, if he's balling, as long as he's balling on the diamond, that's all that I care about. And look, he's a guy that feels, man. Some guys are just emotional, man. Let guys show emotion. It's all good. But like I said, you got to perform. You got to perform out there on the field. I think it was important for him to get this weekend behind him. You heard Freddie Freeman say that he couldn't wait for Monday. But like I said, show a little love to this Dodger fan base and this Dodgers team that has been, I mean, I saw 15 Freddie Freeman jerseys. Man, in like 2 years, there's going to be more Dodgers Freddie Freeman jerseys sold than there were in 12 years with the Braves. Okay, this fan base is on a whole nother level. The Braves are regional. The Dodgers are national. international, okay? This is the big leagues now, okay? Fredericks of Hollywood, he's gone to the big league. So, like, I think that, to me, it's like I said, it's like when you break up with someone and you kind of have, I don't want to say breakup sex, but you kind of have that breakup hookup. And you're like, okay, cool, got it out of my system. Now it's behind me, and now I'm ready to focus on what's important right now, and that is his career with the Dodgers. And on top of that, guess what? When his career is over with the Dodgers in 6 years or whatever it is, he's going to be showing that emotion at Dodger Stadium. Some people just cry, man. I got friends, we'll watch Bambi together and they'll start crying like in 5 minutes, okay? Some people just cry, and it's okay. It's not a big deal. But like I said, I do international. Yeah, I mean, international. Dodgers are international. I mean, they're a team. We just talk about this hat. There's people that don't even know it's even a baseball hat, and you see it in countries around the world. You're not going to see Braves hats as much as you're going to see Dodgers hats. So I think that Freddie Freeman embracing the Dodger culture, embracing the Dodger fans like he has, and he definitely most certainly has, but I think this is important to get it behind him. And like I said, I don't have any issue with the emotions. Didn't see much of it today, too. I mean, yesterday you saw him get maybe a little choked up. You saw him get a little choked up, obviously, on Friday at the press conference. But, yeah, I mean, lots of it was really intense, kind of what happened between those two organizations. And then I think that it was such a stupid thing. Dave Vassegh, that was like the dumbest comment ever, where he's comparing it to Chase Utley. I mean, first of all, they're just different personalities, and it's not like it's not like Chase Utley was coming off a World Series the following year, and he signed a big deal with the Dodgers in the prime of his career. That was one of the weakest comparisons I've ever seen from Dave Vassegh. Like, what are you talking about there? It's not analogous at all whatsoever, but it's all good, man. It's all love. Bambi, no tears, but he'll be choked up when we win the World Series this year, WB. Yeah, exactly, right? No one said anything about Clayton Kershaw when he was crying after a World Series, right? Remember, win or bye-bye. Why is Bazooka giving up runs? Why are we talking about that, man? He actually had put together like 6 scoreless outings before yesterday. Threw a flat slider yesterday. D-Mac, you want to circle with Vassegh? Gary, hey, man, I have no problem. I mean, Vassegh is cool, man. I talk to him all the time, but I'm like, how can you compare? I don't talk to him all the time. I'm talking like a couple times at the games, but I'm back. How do you feel about our pitching? But come on, Kershaw, Freeman, yeah. D-Mac loves him some Bambi, especially at the Hustler Gentlemen's Club from Boomer Assassin. Okay, so no, like this is what Clayton Kershaw. But to me, I do think that Kershaw is very calculated. He doesn't just say anything, and I think the fact that Kershaw kind of even made, I don't even know where he even made that comment, to be honest with you. I really personally don't know where he made that comment, but I'll read it off to you guys. So Freddie Freeman. Kershaw said, it was very cool. Here's Kershaw on Freddie Freeman's reception Friday. It was very cool. He's obviously been a big contributor for our team, and I hope we're not second fiddle. It's a pretty special team over here, too. I think whenever he gets comfortable over here, he'll really enjoy it. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. Like he's not already comfortable, like he's not already really enjoying it. I think you can always take quotes and take them out of context, and I don't think that Kershaw was really upset, but I do think it's pretty interesting saying that he hopes we're not second fiddle. And the Dodgers, they don't take a backseat to anyone in any professional sporting league ever. So, yeah, I think Freddie Freeman, you realize that, hey, man, you get paid a lot of money to play for this team, and this franchise and this team's fans have backed you up. And it seems that a lot of Dodger fans might have some issues with it, but I think that, like I said, he's going to be crying tears of joy when they celebrate winning the NLCS against the Braves and hopefully the World Series against the Astros. But thanks, guys. I know this was we need more contact hitters. Kersh was just doing leader things. WB, Dodgers are universal, absolutely. Judge looks like Shrek. Interesting. Okay, well, random question. Where do you think Judge ends up next year? And we'll end on that. I think he goes to the Giants. Hometown. He's from Northern California, more like Central California, but they need an outfielder. They have money. Will we get 2019 Belly back? I think the answer to that is pretty much no. I mean, he's been, floating around 200 since the first half of 2019. But this team needs pitching and slugging. Otherwise, it's dangerous. We can end. Thoughts about Kimbrel. Kind of gave my thoughts on Kimbrel early on, but thanks, T-Mac. Thanks, Jay Silva. Judge on the Giants. Barf, exactly. Speaking of comfort, Kershaw said that Trey was getting comfortable during his – yeah, he did say that. And I think Trey is a guy that's going to be very open. Trey has said in the past that he's looking forward to controlling his own destiny. He has earned the right to go to free agency, and I think it's going to be thorough. I think he's going to have meetings with multiple teams. And if the Dodgers are interested if they offer him tons of money, it could happen. But extend Trey now. We need DeGrom. Thanks, D-Mac, for the show, Don Kim. But, yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you. As always, I kick it and talk Dodger baseball all night long. But the Dodgers get the big, epic, extra innings win against the Braves. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time